Hey guys, this is Jack from Team Empire, bringing y'all another first thoughts segment after I think 2 weeks of not really posting anything. At least it feels like a long time. And again, I'm sorry that I hadn't posted the stuff about Clarissa and Celestial. It's just I've been pretty busy last semester of school, so it's gotten really busy just trying to find a job after school. But that's not really important when it comes to Vanguard. So let's get to talking about the Felty Rosa support and the generic Ketter cycle card from Festival Collection 2023. So we're going to talk about the Felty Rosa support first, and unlike the other times where we go over support, we usually go over the support cards first, then go over the main upgrade or main boss unit. This time we're just going to be jumping straight into the boss unit, which will be Rondo of Plenilune? I don't know how to really say that, but the new Felty Rosa. She has the dress up ability like the other lyrical evolutions, where she counts as the previous form, Rondo of Eventide Moon, Felty Rosa, during the fight. And then she has 2 skills. Her first skill is continuous when Vanguard Circle. During your turn, if your soul has a grade 3 card with Felty Rosa in its card name, all your front row ghosts get plus 10,000 power. And then the second ability is Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Counterblast 1, and until end of turn, this unit gets the following skill, twice. Auto Vanguard Circle once per turn, when your drive check reveals a ghost normal unit or a grade 3 card with Felty Rosa in its card name, you may call that card to an open rearguard circle. If you call the card, this unit gets drive plus 1 until end of that battle. And that's it. Yeah, I was about to say something else, but that's really it. So overall, this is a very nice upgrade for Felty Rosa. If you have a grade 3 in Soul, it basically turns your other ghosts into having Persona Ride, which is obviously great, especially if you get it off turn 3. And it might seem pretty hard to do, but there's already a support card in Felty that puts Felty Rosas from your drop zone into your Soul. I think it was from set 2. It's a grade 1. And there's already a card in this set that puts a Felty Rosa into Soul, which we'll talk about in a second. So obviously that skill is amazing because Felty Rosa is a multi-attack deck, so it makes sense to give her rear guards power so they can hit over defensive triggers. And that second ability is also an amazing upgrade to Felty Rosa's ability, because one of the problems with Felty Rosa was that you had to counterblast a lot if you saw a lot of ghosts. Now you can only do it twice, which technically is a nerf, but it's also not because it's only a single counterblast. So you can technically, for a single counterblast, if you see 2 ghosts, get 4 drive checks and 5 attacks. That's really good. That's really strong. So overall, I think this is a great upgrade to Felty Rosa. It really needed it by far. I'm excited to test it out once Festival comes out over here. Next up, we'll talk about the grade 2, which is Traumaray of Grazing Hands Rosewitha, who is a ghost. These other 2 units will both be ghosts, just for anyone who's wondering. Auto, when this unit is placed in a rearguard circle other than from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Felty Rosa in its card name, you stand all your rearguards in the same column as this unit, and this unit gets plus 5k power until end of turn. Then, auto rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, you may have this unit get power plus 5,000 until end of that battle, and if you do, at the end of the battle, you put this unit on the bottom of your deck. So this is very good. It's a good first attacker because the second ability you can just give it 5k, put it on the bottom of the deck so you have an open front row to when you swing with Felty Rosa, you can just call a ghost that you get off your drive check. Very nice. And then that first ability helps when she's called by Felty Rosa. So she'll get an additional 5k power and she'll stand the booster, which is very important so you can actually better hit better numbers, hit over defensives, just in case you don't have the plus 10k from the new Felty Rosa. A very nice support unit. Not much to say here, it's just very simple, but it does what the deck wants to do. Next, we'll talk about the main card that helps you get Felty Rosas into your soul, which is a grade 1 called Night Sky Searing Divertimento, I guess, Orchard, who says auto rearguard circle at the end of the battle, this unit boosted if you have a Vanguard with Felty Rosa in its card name, cost Counterblast 1, and put another rearguard in the same column as this unit into your soul to draw a card. So this is obviously the main way you're going to be putting Felty Rosas into your soul. You can just call the Felty Rosa, whichever one. It can either be the new one or the old one, preferably, and you boost it and then use her to put that Felty Rosa into the soul to draw a card. It doesn't have to be Felty Rosa, it can be anything, but it helps to be a Felty Rosa because then when you call a ghost, that ghost will have plus 10k power. And this also synergizes very well with the new ghost, Trauma Ray. When you drive check Trauma Ray off your Felty Rosa, you can call her in the same column as your Orchid, and then use Trauma Ray's effect to stand the Orchid. And then when you boost with it, if you have extra CB, you can use Orchid's effect again to counterblast 1, put that unit into the soul to draw an additional card. It's just really, really, really good. It gives you draws, it multi-attacks, it fulfills the condition for one of your skills, so you don't have to rely on Persona Rad anymore. It's just very good. This new support Felty is honestly seems really fun, and I'm excited to test it out for the new Festival Collection format, which is looking to be very good for lyrical players. Lyrical players are eating good in this set. And finally, we have the Ketter one, which I'm excited for. We have Divine Knight of Deeply Laid Stratagems, Sages, who says, continuous and Rigid Circle or Guardian Circle. If your opponent's drive check or damage check revealed a trigger unit this turn, this unit gets plus 10k power and plus 10k shield until the end of that turn. And then has the other effect, which is Auto Rigid Circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, you look at the top card of your deck and put that on the top of your deck or into your soul. Then you can counterblast 1, perform all the following effects below. You choose one of your opponent's vanguards with 14,000 power or greater and increase this unit's power by that unit's power until the end of that battle. Cost, remove an overtrigger from drop, choose one of your other front row units and it gets plus 15k power until end of turn. So I think this is probably the best. This is pretty much the best one of the new cycle cards from Festival, because weirdly enough, it actually does something when it attacks before the counterblast. None of the other ones do that, but this one does it. Who knows, maybe the Brancate one and Stoichea one will also do something like that, but this is like unprecedented free top deck manipulation. You get to look at the top deck, and you don't get to put it on bottom, you actually put it into soul, which is really good considering the fact that it's free. Obviously this is really good in Bastion, because you can just swing with this first and use the effect to look at top card of deck and see that it's a grade 3, and you can leave it on top to confirm Bastion's restand, especially if you don't have that many grade 3s left in your deck. And obviously the first effect helps really well with Bastion. Not only does it just help him hit bigger numbers when your opponent checks defensives, but it also helps for Bastion's survivability. Having extra 10k shields along with your Embrace Dragon can be really good to help Bastion survive, especially in a format with lots of rush. And those additional effects are also really good. The overtrigger removal effect is kind of like whatever. I mean, it's okay. Plus 15k is At least it's not like the Dragon Empire one, because the Dragon Empire one only gives 15k power to itself. This one can give 15k power to anything. So if you have an overtrigger to remove from drop, you can like remove it, choose like an Alden or something, give it plus 15k before it attacks, swing with the Alden, then restand the Alden with Bastion, an extra plus 10k again, and then swing gets an extra 5, making it massive. But that first effect is really cool. Basically, if your opponent hits a defensive trigger, it'll just increase this unit's power by that unit's power. So if they check a defensive and this guy's at like 23 and they're at 23, you can just counterblast 1 to have it increase by 23, making it 46. Because keep in mind, this doesn't match the unit's power, it increases by the Vanguard's power. So if they also check something like the OT, you can just use this effect to make your unit 100 million power stronger, which is just really cool. I think this card is really awesome. Another deck I think I might try this out in is Soul Rhyron, because you're not really hurting by playing another grade 3 like this in Soul Rhyron, because this guy also acts as 10k shield in case they check a defensive trigger, or just a trigger in general, which is really good to help survivability. On top of that, there are times in Soul Rhyron where you don't have any way to confirm whether a card is on top of your deck or not. So by using this card to attack, look at the top card of your deck, you're fulfilling one of two things. You're either putting it into the soul, which is obviously really good for Soul Rhyron, or you can just leave it on top of your deck if it's a trigger unit. And also, it helps with multi-attacking. Say your opponent checks a bunch of defensive triggers, and you call this off Soul Rhyron's effect, you can counterblast 1 and increase its unit's power even further beyond. So I think this card is really cool. I actually really like this one, and I'm excited to test it out in a bunch of my Ketter Sanctuary decks. But without any further ado, that's the end of this video. Let me know what y'all think about the new support. I'm super excited for Felty Rosa and really excited for the Ketter Sanctuary one. I think that's a really cool card. Sorry for late uploads. I'm not going to confirm anything right now because stuff's only getting busier, but I appreciate the support nonetheless. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.